Well, welcome back. Today we are doing some rust repair. Actually, not today. Pretty well got it done. But my brother-in-law's 78 K10 on this one. I'm going to be putting in some cab corners, rockers, floor pans, floor braces. We put new doors on it. The old truck needed a lot of love. Still needs a lot of love, but I'm fixing to turn it back over to him. I still got this fender to put on, but the way I do these may not be the right way and may not be the way you want to do it. But, the main thing of my channel, don't be afraid to try to do it. Hopefully somebody might get something out of this. If I'm putting a panel in, I've always butt welded them. I butt welded all the panels on this except for I had to make some homemade inner rockers. He didn't have any of those. And I end up lapping this floorboard on the driver's side because that floorboard was so thin, and I used the full floorboard on that side to try to get as much new metal as I could in there. So I end up lapping the driver's side. The truck's pretty rusty, but it's not as rusty. I've had worse. I've had a lot worse. I've patched a lot worse. But all in all, it's turned out pretty good. Really good for what it was. This is just kind of the way I do it. Don't mean you have to do it the same way, but don't be afraid to try to do it. And I've done all this. It's sitting right there. So you don't have to have a fancy garage, fancy tools. Get you a grinder, a cheap welder, and if you got rust, you can take care of it yourself. So hope you all enjoy this. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Getting this. I'm also going to have another video on this. It's got a 81 to 87 front clip on it, 78 cab. See a lot of people ask questions about that. So I'm going to put a video out. I end up cutting the hinge pockets out in the cowl for the truck. The hood had never been mounted on it. Somebody kind of half-assed put it on there. So I get the hinge pockets cut out. But that's going to be on another video. Once that video comes out, you're going to see the 67. We're going to get it out, get the disc brakes on it, get it ready to start cutting the frame down. And the bed. Shorten it 20 inches. Shorter. All right, as you can see here, I've cut me a hole out here just to get an idea how bad. I mean, I kind of look underneath and get an idea. What I'm going to do, you've got the cab support that goes from the front to the rear. It's pretty solid in the old truck. I just cut up pretty close to it. I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to get me a square, lay all this out. I'm going to cut the floor pan over past it so I can get past this plate where the cab support tack welds onto, as well as it tacks onto this too. But I'm going to get over past it a little bit, get the spot welds drilled out of this and what's left of the cab support into that brace. Get it out of the way. I'm going to come on up. I'm going to have to come up the toe board just a little bit more and come on across, but I'm going to get it laid out where I'm going to cut it. I'm going to go ahead and cut this area out. Probably will try to fit. Now I'm going to measure, get that cut down pretty close to where I want it, then I'll lay it in there, mark it, trim it up to fit, set it in there. I'm going to go ahead and get it put in. Usually I'd go ahead and take the rocker off too, but with that cab support in bad of shape, I don't want to cut this out and take a chance on this A-pillar dropping down and having to get a jack under it and get it leveled back up. So, and I'll probably have to cut a little bit of it out to get that, because that floor pan has the inner rocker built into it. Has a little bit of the inner rocker built into it back to about right in here. And like I was mentioning, he didn't get inner rockers, so when I get the outer rocker off of it, I'm gonna bend us up some metal and show you how you can kind of fix that issue right there. Kick panels, he didn't get any of those either. He said he didn't really want it show quality, but he wanted it solid up a little. He didn't really say that, but I'm making that up, so it sounded like a good word. So we may come in here, cut a little bit of it, and run us a new patch down in behind here. All right, what I'll do is take a grinder. I've got a flat wheel on there. Clean up over top, find my spot welds. I had a spot weld driller, but one of these bits with a pilot starter on it, they work pretty good. You can punch the little part all the way through, and then the outer will drill out the remaining part of the spot weld. So as you can see, I laid it out. Took me a framing square. Got everything cut out where I want it to go. I know that's got a lot of surface rust over in this area, but it's really solid. Just a lot of surface rust. When you get done, gonna clean that up. Put a little bit of paint over all of it. Even up in here, I was worried about it's leaking. Somebody's drilled a hole through the cowl and run an antenna wire down through there. So I'm gonna get these drilled out, get all this removed, cleaned up along the kick panel, and start getting the cab brace off of it, see if I can get the bolt out of it. Hopefully it'll come out without any issues. Well, I got the cab brace out. Believe it or not, that bolt come out. I didn't really want to cut the reinforcing plate. There's a plate that sits up here where these join together. But I didn't have much of a choice to get in there and try to get to this. So I'm going to cut it out, build me another one, and put back over top of it when I start putting it back together. I'm going to get the find the spot welds here, down here, get the rest of this bracket, what's left of it on there, get all this cleaned up, that off, clean it all up, spray it with some weld through primer, and then come over here from the toe board down and try to figure out what we're going to do with the kick panel. The floor pan has the inner rocker all the way up to right in here, so the cab brace should mount to it, but I do want to get some of that rust cut out from the inner rocker, or from the toe board, and get it cleaned up before I just cap that in there. So I'm going to get this, finish getting this cleaned up, and then we'll get in here and start getting this inner rocker removed back to where this will sit. The floorboard will lap over right in here. Alright, so just a little test fit of the panel. I got everything cut out. I still got a little bit to clean off the brace, clean everything up, put some weld through primer on it, mark it, get my holes drilled for my spot welds. But for the most part, it's fitting up pretty good. I got my corner cut a little short right here. Yeah, that's gonna suck, especially kind of rusty metal. It's gonna be kind of thin right in there anyway. So what I do is cut out the area I want to cut. That's a lot of surface rust, but it's still really solid. Then I'll lay my pan up here, mark it from the back side, and try to cut it usually a little bit big, but this time I got carried away and it's almost an exact fit. Hopefully I don't have too much of a gap right there, but back here I left the full length of the floor pan. I'm going to cut the floorboard with the zip wheel when I get here. Just let it fit. And don't forget this brace almost cut through it right here. Weld that back up when I go to weld the pan back in. Get this cleaned up, get this off of there, get me a new plate built, and get it ready to put the floor brace back in. Actually, with these floor pans with the inner rocker built into them, the floor brace is going to have to go in with that. There's no way to put that in and then that without taking the kick panel off and the rocker panel off, in which he doesn't have the inner kick panel, so we're not going that deep with it. That's going to come in from the bottom with that pan. The drop-in pans are really better for something like this. You'll know you got a drop-in pan, you won't have this big inner rocker on it, and this lip will be turned up the other way, which will just lap up over the kick panel and weld on. These are more the factory style floor pans. So we'll get this cleaned up, get it welded in there. Alright, done a little bit more trimming, cleaning up. Got it pretty well about where I want it. Pretty close. Pretty close. Close enough. Good enough. Good enough. I'm going to start back here, get this corner tight. Then I'm going to go up here and put some vice grips on this and clamp it to the outer pinch weld where it's supposed to go. As you can see, it needs to go up, but it should fit. If it don't, I'll take the cutoff wheel. Got the cab brace put in there. Just got the bolt loosely started. I'm going to clean all that up a little bit more and put some weld through primer on it, and get all my holes drilled for my plug welds, little rosette welds. Once I get all this kind of fit pretty close, I'll come in here and I'm going to tighten that bolt up pretty tight so it'll cinch this bracket down, pull it all up pretty level where it needs to be. And then we'll just kind of go from there. I'm going to pull all this back out. I've marked with a Sharpie along the edge all these so I can drill holes through the floor pan, get it tack welded to the brace, and clean the edge up a little bit, get a little bit of that paint off of there, so we'll be ready to weld. When I go to put the outer rocker on, I'll have to come back in here and trim this inner rocker off of that floor down a little bit to allow that outer rocker to fit up over it. But we won't do that until we get the floor pan lined up on the inside and tack welded in place. Well, I've got it all fit. It rained a little bit the other day. Fixing to get the pan all welded in. Gap turned out a little wider actually in the back than what I wanted, but I'm gonna try to get this floor pan, get it welded in today and start getting the rocker panel cut out. Like I said, we don't have any inner rockers, so we're gonna take some of the scrap metal. I've got quite a bit of patch panel pieces, and we're just gonna bend something up to kind of fix the inner rocker there behind the seal plate. I got the brace in. Probably gonna pull the door back off. We've had it on and off, but got the brace in. I know I didn't video didn't film cleaning all the front to rear brace up, the cab floor brace. I cleaned all that up, welded up any of the holes I had from drilling off the spot welds, ground it down and put some weld through primer on it. It rained a little bit the other day. We had the doors off of it, so some of the grinding dust rusted. But I'm going to turn in, get the floor panel all welded in, get my rosette plug welds welded to the brace, make sure I have it lifted up about where I want it underneath, and then we'll start on the rocker panel. All right, so we got the floor pan welded in. You'll have to ignore some of them welds. Golly, they ain't too pretty. As long as you're a grinder, that's all that matters. So when I'm putting a rocker panel in, I don't fool with putting all of this in. What I'm going to do is come about right in here, cut it off. I like to leave this hole for the fender bolt because that's a good lineup point, good place to kind of start lining it up. So what I'm going to do is get all this cut off about where I want it. Also the back, I'm just going to come on the back and cut somewhere right in here and cut this off and get it laid up here, kind of a rough test fit, kind of like I did with the floor pan. I'll get it laid up here, take me a Sharpie, mark where I've got this cut. I'll come back on the inside of it just a little bit, get it all cut out. Let's get it peeled out of the way and start test fitting the rocker. When we start test fitting it, I'm going to put the new door on it, get it lined up pretty close just to make sure the rocker's not, one way or the other. You don't want the door overlapping the bottom of the rocker. This ain't really like the best way to do all this, but with these pans and stuff and not having an inner rocker, we're gonna take some scrap pieces of panels I've got and just bend us a good 90 when we get all this cut out, and we're just going to patch this down through here. And he said for what he wanted, it'd be good enough. He just wanted some of the rust cut out and fixed, so he didn't want a show truck like mine, which I don't believe mine's a show truck, but he tends to think it's pretty nice. So I'm gonna get to cutting, get this cut off. I'll come back when I get it fit up here and laid out. Go ahead and get most of the back cab corner cut out too. I'll do the same with it. They've been replaced before and there's actually no rust in it, but you can't change the rocker panel without changing it unless you cut it off, somewhere right in here. And I just assumed he's got the cab corners. Let's just go ahead and get them fit pretty good. These don't fit real good, and I can tell there's a ton of filler in there. So I'm going to get this cut down, get it fitted up here, and get this marked. All right, so I trimmed a little off my rocker. laid it up here. I'm not really liking the way it looks like it's gonna fit. I'm hoping it's just where I can't get it pushed up there good, but it's looking a little short. I'm gonna do a little measuring here and kind of get an idea of if it is or not. If I think it is, probably gonna come right in here, cut the front off of this. Gives me a little room to wiggle with this going back just a little, not much, but so I'm gonna do a little measuring. I've got this marked out where I've got it cut. Probably gonna come down get this cut off somewhere right in here for now, and go ahead and cut the back off, cut the rear cab corner off, and just gonna cut it for right now down along the inside of the rocker. Instead of getting their spot welds through here, that spot welds the top, the outer rocker into the inner rocker. So probably just gonna cut it off right through here for right now, and kind of get a look at how all that is in there before I decide how much of this to cut out. So I'm gonna get the grinder wheel over here, get to cutting this out. Maybe. We're gonna see how it's gonna go. Wish us luck. That rocker don't look like it's wanting to fit too good. Hopefully it's just an illusion where it's not able to push all the way up on there good. Alright, well, we've got a bunch cut out and we've got a mess. I really wish I had an inner rocker to go in it, but I don't. So I've got some metal. I wish I had a brake, and I don't. So we're going to cut a scrap piece out of some old patch panels I've got and try to bend something up right here to work for an inner rocker panel. Alrighty. Well, I don't have any inner rocker panels, so I'm gonna make some. I done made one for the passenger side. Done made the one you seen get put in. I'll show you how you can make you some, how you can bend metal with just a hammer and a couple blocks of wood. So I'm gonna get my measurements laid out here, get me some lines drawn, and start bending. If I had a little brake, it would really be handy. It'd be very simple to make. So what I'm gonna do is come up 2.5. This is the area under the seat. Let's see, I want that since it's kind of rolled in, so I'm gonna do it from the right side here. We'll go 2.5 and about 3.5. Because I'm going to turn 1 inch back under. Not all of it will be under, but this will be the section that goes back under the outer rocker, and then this turns down on the outer rocker. So I get me a line drawn up here. Don't really need it because I'm sure I ain't going to be able to follow it too close, but now the other side turned out really good. Really good. I have these scrap pieces of rear quarters for a Squarebody where I had cut some pieces around the tail light, I believe, out years ago on another truck I had. My old 86 model Brownie. What I'm gonna do is take another block, easy, lay it right on it, on the line. Take me a hammer, press down, sandwich those, and bend it down. up making me a little relief cut on the back side of this 1-inch bend to get it to break a little quicker. And that's all they are to build your inner rocker panel. Take it around here, show you how it goes in there. Alright, so I took me a piece of scrap metal. It ain't pretty. Took it, some 6x6 blocks, 2x4s, a 1x4, and I have cut me a inner rocker panel out here to fit and weld in here. This back here is going to need a little trimming, but I'm going to get it tacked in at the front and zip cut it as I go back. Once I get back here, I'm going to just bend me a 90. That way I can curve it up. The inner rocker ends about in this area right here anyway. So we're going to bend just a little lip, come up right in here, take care of some of that. Give it a little tap right there. A little tap, tap, tap-a-rooey. That's going to fit up pretty good right back through there. I'm going to go ahead and weld this all together down through here. What's the matter with you? What's the matter with you? Sometimes you got to talk to your welder. Oh, come on. It would have helped if I cleaned that paint off. Alright. 3 tacks right there. Get my hammer. Start bending this. Tapping it in where it needs to go. I'm going to have one heck of a gap right there. Good Lord. Good Lord. This is working out kind of bad because I don't know where that needs to land at. Oh, it needs to come up. Oh, Lord. Oh, Lord. Cut that bottom tack loose. Alright, get one loose. Yeah, break that one off too. Yeah, let's just start over. Start over. It's just kind of a, we'll call it a guesstimate of where it needs to go. I guess it did. Run the flap wheel down behind here, clean all that up. We're just going to weld it in right where it's at. Right where it's at. It's going to work out pretty good. Pretty. Maybe not pretty, but it's going to be good. Alright, so I got the homemade inner rocker built, welded to the floor pan. It had the inner rocker built onto it. And like I said before, if you use these floor pans, these are for if you take everything off here and build it from there out. I'm not really doing it that way. Really, the drop-in pans would have worked better with the inner rocker panel separate. But we're making this work. Ignore some of them booger welds. Don't know what was going on there, and I end up just lapping this up on the seat form. I'm going to bend just a 90 on a piece because the inner rocker actually ends right here. We're going to clean that up and round it off a little. Not really trying to make it look factory, just trying to get most of the rust cut out of it. Going to go behind it, spray some good primer on it, clean it all up good. Some more well through primer. But next I'm going to get the door fit on it. My brother-in-law's coming over. We're going to get the new door fit before I start tacking this bottom rocker up. I've still got some trimming to do to get it to fit just right. But I want the door hanging there so I know exactly where to trim it. That way I can kind of line it up to it. So that's the next thing. I'm going to get the hinges and all off of this door, get them put on the new door, get the new door hung, get it lined up, pretty close, get the body lines lined up in the corner here, and then fit the rocker to it. Well, we hung the door, fitted the rocker panel gap at the bottom. It's about where we want it. Actually, it's perfect. Turned out really good. I've already tack welded the rocker in, and we're going to pull the door back off. I could probably weld the rocker up with the door on, but to grind it all down when we get done, we're going to have the door off to grind it down, make it look pretty good around the front up there. So we're going to go ahead and pull that back off. And then I'll finish that, bend some pieces for this inner rocker where it turns up here in a minute, cut a few out, tack weld them in. And other than the cab corner, that'll have this side. Alright, it's windy as all get out here today, but my homemade inner rocker panel's in, floor pan's in, rocker panel's in. We went ahead and finished off the other side. I know I didn't, or the front side. I know I didn't film much of this. I'm bad, like I said, just to turn in, try to get stuff going. But got the door fit. Actually going to adjust it and kick it back just a little bit, but got everything lined up good enough so I could put the rocker panel in. Drilled some holes down here for my rosette welds, and then the rocker, I cut it off too short, so I'm going to have to get on the back side and tack them and fill these back in. Before I adjust the door, I'm going to go ahead and get the rocker panel put on. I'm going to go ahead and get the cab corner put on. Whoever put these on before, laid a rocker panel over. Lord. Whoever put these on before, put a cab corner over the cab corner. So I'm going to get my grinder out, come up through here and see how far they came. And then cut the old one out to where I've got good metal, probably pretty close to where I'm at. I don't want to go a whole lot higher. I'll try not to put the whole thing in. The more of the original body panel I can leave, the better. Need to do a little adjusting on the door, kick the bottom in, but it's lining up in here pretty good. So I want to get my cab corner on first, kind of get it lined up here, see how it fits. So I'm gonna get it out here, get the grinder out here, get the cleaning up, see how far up I need to go to put that cab corner in. I don't know why I keep calling it a rocker panel. Well, when I cut this out just to get the rocker panel in, when I cut this cab corner out, I cut pretty well on the seam. Damn, that's hot. I cut pretty well on the seam of where they had put it in. You can see their booger welds there, about like my booger welds over there. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to come up above that. This is caved in. I mean, holy bondo. Good Lord. That was some thick body filler. So I'm going to come up right in here, cut this off on the back. I'm going to kind of taper it down over into this corner, and that's about where we're going to go with it. So I'm going to just keep getting set up here, cleaned up, get the rest of this cut out, get the bed floor pulled back a little bit, and get it ready to put the new cap corner on. Alright, so I've come up and made my cut. It's a lot higher than what I like to go, but this is being in a lot more than I wanted. You can tell they've put 3/4 of an inch of body filler in there. So I'm going to taper it off, go down to right in here. I'm going to start drilling out spot welds here, and these on the piece I left down here. Get all this out, get it cleaned up, grind all this down, get all that filler out up through here. Straighten that out a little bit if I have to, and start getting my other cab corner cut down, trimmed to fit, and getting it lined up, ready to tack weld in. Alright, so I've got it all cleaned up. I don't have it cleaned up yet, I mean completely. I'm going to put some spray weld through primer on here. Got all the spot welds out down through here, ground down smooth. All the ones off the back. I've never had any of these cab corners that fit really good without some work. So what I like to do is down in this bottom corner, I don't weld. I see a lot of people weld this up solid. I don't weld the cab corner to the rocker panel. I don't seam seal it. I just clean it up real good and let it ride in there like they did from the factory. To do this, you're going to have to grind some of this lip down, get it thinner, as well as this lip up through here is way too thick to fit the door jamb the way it needs to. So I'm going to get to grinding some of this down, get it cleaned up, get it fitting good, and then I'll come back when we get ready to put it up there and trim it. As you can see, the bottom's starting to fit pretty good, but I'm rocking a lot. It's rocking a lot right in this area, so I'm going to take a little more of this out, come right up in here, taper this in, make it kind of look factory better, more better anyway. So as you can see, we're fitting a whole lot more better. I've still got some to take off up here before I get to where I've cut, but down here it's all fitting up pretty good. It could go in just a little bit more. We may work with it a little bit more right there, and but for the most part, fitting a lot better. So these panels, I mean, don't be afraid to trim. I even need to take probably a little bit more out down through here. Don't be afraid to trim, mess with them. They don't come perfect by no means, none of them, not in a long time. Most of this is going to get cut off back here, but I'm going to keep on whittling at it, get it trimmed up, get it fitting the best we can get it to fit. Alright, so I got it all cut down, trimmed up to fit. I'm going to set the stand up here. I'm going to spray some weld through primer on here. Got to drill a few holes for my plug welds along this lip, and then we'll be ready to tack weld it on there. I got a feeling it ain't going to fit real good up around the back corner, but we're going to make it work. We're going to make it work. All right. All right, as you can see, I got it trimmed to fit. Actually, I end up trimming a little bit more out of the cab once I trim this down within 1/4 of an inch. Then I trimmed up the cab to fit it. These don't fit very good. They don't have the right curve in them. They work. All of them I've done over the past few years have been this way. I've got the bottom vice gripped on to the inner cab corner and rocker panel. So we're going to fire up the welder, get the top corner at the door jamb. I like to weld it up first. I like to kind of get it tacked into place anyway, I should say. Get it tacked where it needs to be. know what? Before I do that, I did not spray any weld-through primer back here, and you need it. You need it. Need it. Need it. All right. Went in and ate a little supper. Put some spray, weld-through, spray through, whatever. Same difference. Some primer down. Got all my plug weld holes drilled. Plug weld holes drilled on a clamper on the bottom here with the old vice grips. I think, maybe. So what I like to do is weld this corner, get it lined up, get it tacked in place first, because that's going to be, you know, one of your biggest eyesores right there, is if that lines up or not. And this one's going to line up fairly good, but it's going to be a pain. Pain. So I'm going to turn Yins around over here. Kind of out of the way. Get out of the way. Get out of the way. And then, well, it would probably help to hook my ground up. Might need that. Might need it. Oh, come on. Really? Hot. Oh, it's getting hot in here. Hot. Oh, hot. All right. That's got that thing twisted and warped all to I don't know what. But we're going to make it work. We're going to keep just fudging it around here, tacking it a little as we go. And when we get right here, I don't know what we're going to do, because it's about a 1/4 inch too wide. I have had to split these and shorten them down. I'm not going to this one. We're going to stretch, push, pull. We're going to make it work, because he said he didn't want show quality, just decent quality. So we're making it a little bit more better. So more better is good enough. Good enough. I'm going to go ahead and tack weld this plug up here at the top too, I think. Alright. Now we're just going to work our way on around here. I'll shut the door. See how it looks. That's a little more better, ain't it? A little more better. It's good enough. I would say I can't see it from my house, but I can. No. Well, it's getting hot. Hot. Now, around the back, we'll have to do some fancy fudge work here with a hammer and a block of wood. Oh, oh. I got a 2x4 block right here. Tell you what, I'm gonna go ahead and tack weld the bottom so I can pull the vice grips off. I'll probably weld the vice grips on there. Yeah, I did. Hey, damn it. That's all I ended up doing was welding them stupid things on. So, got it all tack welded up, fitting pretty good. Overlapping a little here. I'm gonna run the zip tool up through there, zip wheel, cut off wheel, and just finish stitch welding it together, plug welding it. Finish my plug welds down there. And we're probably going to adjust that door just a little. Kick the bottom of it in. Top needs to come out a little bit anyway. So if we pivot that around, that'll be just about perfect. Well, come a little shower last night. Trying to flash rust some of that. I'm going to try to finish cleaning it up. Little trick right here, or a little tip. It ain't really a trick. After I welded this in, I let my brother-in-law, which it's his truck, I had to run in. He turned doing the grinding. My son-in-law done the same thing. When you're grinding these welds, put the edge of the wheel just right on the bead of weld and just take the bead of weld down to the metal. Him and my son-in-law both, they got to grinding up and down. Well, what you do, you just take your sheet metal away and leave the hump, and it thins this down really thin. I don't know if we showed it, but my son-in-law actually ground a hole through the bedside of his 87 when we cut it down. So, and just go slow. You can build up a lot of heat grinding too, but just use the tip, the edge, the leading edge of it, and just work that bead along with it. You start going up and down, you're just going to keep that hump of bead in there and just eat your sheet metal away. So I'm going to take a little bit more off of just the bead. Try not to get into the metal. There's still quite a bit left here. You didn't go too deep, but you can start to feel it where it's cut down. I'm going to get this ground down, cleaned up, and get a little patch for that inner rocker built right there. Alright, so I hit it with a grinder, followed it along. There's still a little bit of a divot up here where he went too deep in the metal, but you can see what part I hit just on the bead of weld. And these flap wheels work really good. Go slow. You can build as much heat with a grinder as you can welding it. But when you're grinding, just be careful. No point in grinding your metal, either side of it. You can do more damage with a grinder than you can welding. Alright, so I got it all ground down about where it needs to be. Still got to hit these plug welds right here. I'm going to go ahead and get all this cleaned up. Get a little bit of kitty hair filler on it. Didn't do it like mine. I put epoxy on mine before I ever started. Left a little bit of the bead showing. As you can see, that pulled in a little when I welded. It ain't enough. I'm on a fool with hammering it out. It's going to be between the cab and the bed anyway. So I'm going to get a little kitty hair fiberglass filler mixed up, spread on here, get it all sanded down, straightened out, and then we'll get this little patch fixed for the inner rocker right here. Alright, so I've cut me, and like I said, you're better off to buy you an inner rocker panel, but you're better off to buy you an inner rocker. You're better off to buy you an inner rocker panel, but cut me a piece, bent a 90 on it, put some relief cuts, got it bent to fit pretty well. I'm going to mark these out, trim them off where it's not overlapping, and stick it in there and weld it in. Probably trim the top off a little, once I get it all tacked together, just so it ain't sticking up so high. Not really gonna matter because the trim piece will cover it, but that's gonna get us a patch made for that. Well, it ain't pretty, but it's done. I end up just lapping this over this inner rocker. I'm gonna let it, like I said, that's my brother-in-law's truck. I'm gonna let him grind all this down. I'm gonna go ahead. I ground this down, went over this a little more. I'm gonna get a little bit of kitty hair on there. If it was my truck, it'd all be getting stripped bare metal and epoxied. I'm not doing that no more though. The green 67 will not get any kind of body work, and my brother-in-law just wants a good, decent, solid truck, halfway decent looking to ride around back and forth to town in. This will work great. You are supposed to, and I usually don't do it, never have, mainly because once you put a rosette weld in here, they're harder to get out than a factory spot weld. But these from the factory, if you want, drill you some holes in the outer rocker and tack weld it to the inner rocker where it sits down in here. I'll have to say my homemade inner rocker turned out pretty good. I didn't really like having a pie cut. I bent this little piece as a 90. This is a full rocker all the way down to the bottom of the rocker, and it's tack welded up. Didn't like having to pie cut this, but I didn't want to make multiple pieces, so I pie cut this and bent it up where that lip fits right up in here. And then I did lap it over a little here, just cut the rust out and welded it on. That'll all be covered with the trim. But all in all, it turned out really good. We still got a little adjusting to do on the door. Gonna kick the bottom in just a little bit. And like I said, the top needs to come out a little anyway up here. But I'll be honest with you, I am impressed with the way those doors fit. Like, they fit really, really good, especially to be on old hinges. But I mean, it's a sight better than what it was. I didn't get it before, but I didn't get a before on the other side, but it was about this kind of shape before I started cutting. And he's got a new door to go on this side too, and I can tell somebody's scabbed a bunch of Bondo or something on that cab corner. This floor pan, probably not going to film much this side. I am going to film fitting the rocker panel because I realized I didn't film, or I lost that. So you're going to see the rocker panel for this side, everything else pretty well for that side. But there ain't really a whole lot to this. You know, the main thing, don't be afraid to try it yourself. You'll never know if you can do it if you don't try. So, you know, get you a cheap welder. I had a pretty nice Lincoln welder, and it bit the dust. My wife bought me that Vulcan, not a Vulcan, it ain't even a Vulcan, the titanium, for my birthday one year, after, like right after the Lincoln went out. And I'll have to say I've been pretty impressed with it. It could do better, but it does everything I need to do around here. It does fine. So get you a cheap welder, sawzall, some cutoff wheels, and don't be afraid to try it yourself. This truck, you know, ain't never going to be a show truck, but it's going to be a lot more solid than it is. The cab mounts and bushings on it is worse on the driver's side than the passenger side. You can see how much lower it's sitting, kind of, maybe. So we're going to get all that replaced, get everything changed out, patched up on the driver's side, get it ready to roll. Well, and there it is. I got it all done. Thought I'd throw a little clip after we got everything lined up. Doors lined up really good. He's already got it back home. We had a time with this door and fender on this side, but we finally got it all to line up pretty good. It could have been better, but for what we started with, it's pretty dang good. Floor pans are in. He's fixing to do some grinding, sealing, get it all sealed up. And needs to oil them hinges, but I whole lot better than it was. So. He's happy with it, so I'm happy with it. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. 67's fixing to come out. Man, I planned on done having it out, but this rain is, it's like every other day it's raining in Tennessee. And we was 84, 85 degrees last weekend. We're 57 today. So we're like in blackberry winter. I don't know. We have so many winters in the spring. But hey, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. We're going to have the 67 pulled out here pretty soon. I do have one more thing before it comes out, though. You know I love the Geo trackers. I've not drove that one in a long time. I need to get it back out. I just move it, go check on the cows, ride to the bike and stuff in it. But we're going to take my son-in-law's. We're doing a 2-wheel drive to 4-wheel drive swap on it. Actually, we're going to change it out tomorrow. So I'll put a little video of that on there too. Anybody that's interested in the Geo tracker. So hey, don't forget though, like, comment, subscribe. And the 67 will be coming out of the barn here by next weekend for sure. So hang around. That's going to be a really good build, I think. I ain't got no money, but we're going to do what we can do with it.